Content is all about turning your expertise into trust.
Social media is also a great testing ground for your ads. Are you pouring time and money into different marketing channels but not seeing the results that you're after? Website SEO, paid ads, just to name a few. Well, here's the thing. A lot of Aussie business owners stretch themselves a little bit too thin by pouring all their precious resources into different marketing channels, but not getting the results that they need to keep driving their business forward. So with me today on the show, I've got Luke, one of our digital marketing strategists here at Websites That Sell, to discuss the 6 essential digital marketing channels that Aussie business owners should know about and have within their marketing mix. So welcome to the show, Luke.
Thanks, Pat.
Awesome. Great to have you here.
Yeah.
Looking forward to the show. We'll get into it.
Yeah. We'll have a look at all the different ones and a few tips in there for business owners and.
Yeah. Hopefully by the end of the video, people have a bit more of an understanding of what a marketing channel is and what's the right one for their business.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, like you said, you don't want to spread yourself too thin, especially those small to medium business owners. There's going to be a limited budget there in reality, and you want to make sure that you're optimizing for the ones that are actually going to work from you and deliver that return on investment.
Yeah, what's going to get you the best bang for your buck.
Yeah, that's
absolutely. Yeah, like before we do dive in, I guess. Can you explain what like a marketing channel is and how does it differ from a marketing vehicle?
Yeah, sure. So your channels are the overarching sort of means that you're reaching your customers with, right? So think like your social media, paid ads, email marketing, right? Like those sorts of things. That's the means at which you're gonna reach your audience. Now, compare that to your vehicle is, if you're doing social media, that might be your Facebook or Instagram. They're the specific platforms that you're actually going to use to kind of execute that strategy on.
Like your page, your Facebook page,
that's
Instagram
it.
page, or even a specific post.
That's it, yeah. Or even, like if we're talking paid ads, it might be like the difference between Google ads or Meta ads.
Yeah, right.
And there's a bunch of different platforms, right? So that's kind of the 101 is understanding the difference between, okay, so what channels am I using and then what vehicles am I using? So it's good to have a bit of an idea, and I think most business owners would, but making that distinction is important.
Yeah, sweet. Cool. Awesome. All right. So many people use these terms interchangeably. Why is it important to understand the difference between a marketing channel and a marketing vehicle? Yeah,
sure. So it's important because you have to know, like, lots of people might, think, okay, I start a business, they've heard from here, they've got to be onto their social media. They've heard here that they've got to be running ads, or they're doing SEO, or there's so many voices out there online saying, you've got to do this, you've got to do this, you've got to do this. But when we step back and look at the strategy or the objectives of the business, you need to kind of know what you want and then use that to tap into, okay, cool. So I need to understand what platform I'm going to use. If I'm a small local business, say I'm a tradie, and I need to start reaching customers near me, understanding, okay, so I need the channel that I'm going to be using is I'm going to use social media, but I'm only going to use Facebook, or I might use Google ads to run those local ads campaigns. So that's what's going to work for me. Whereas if you're a tradie and you start, maybe social media is the right thing for you, but you create a TikTok account and you're just posting, videos that are kind of just going out into the ether with no real strategy.
Just the boys dancing around doing silly stuff.
Yeah. And that does work for some people, but mainly down the track. So it's kind of, okay, so let's just focus on what is going to drive results and just forming a strategy around
what's
that.
The most important thing to focus on right now? Because we've all got limited time, right?
Yeah, limited time, limited money.
Yeah. Yeah, sweet. So, I guess it's all about finding where your customers are for your channel and then delivering those messages at the right time to those customers through your vehicle. Yeah,
that's it. It's easy to get caught up in like chasing those platforms and, like ticking off the list. Okay, I've got Instagram, I've got Facebook, I've got TikTok, I've got, YouTube, I've got LinkedIn, and I'm running Google ads, I'm running Meta ads. And you just got to focus on what is going to work for you now, what's in your budget, and what is going to deliver results. So, and that's where the strategy comes in. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, sweet. Cool. So I guess why do channels matter for a business owner? Hearing all this could be the first time that they hear all about like a different marketing channel. So what does it matter to focus on a few key digital marketing channels than trying to do everything at once? So we've already kind of touched on that a little bit, but let's just dive into the crux of the matter, why it is important just to focus on.
So it's well, I mean, like I said, I kind of jumped ahead a bit there, but it's just about it's just focusing on what's actually going to matter for you, what's going to deliver results. Like I said, you can jump onto any social media platform and just start pumping out content, but that's not necessarily going to do anything for you. You can sink a lot of time into one thing that's not actually bringing you customers or bringing you results. It might be bringing you plenty of engagement online. You could have a really great social media account with heaps of engagement, but if half of those people are overseas, or and there's something to be said for that as well. But it's really about nailing what do you need right now, what's going to drive business growth for you. So, and we're talking about like those 6 core channels, right, that we really want to focus on. That I think. There's a few more, but for most business owners, there's sort of the 6 core channels that we really want to look at. So, like your website being the main one. You don't have to. Very very small businesses might not have the resources or the ability to start with a website right away. But ideally, and there's ways around that. But like ideally, your website is your sort of main hub. That's you. This is us here. That's your main hub. That's where everything links to, and you're pushing ads to, and so that's your core one. Obviously, if you can if nothing else, get a website nailed down, and that's where your customers will be able to find you, will book jobs with you. That's sort of in the case of a tradesman or whatever. That'd be the first one to really nail down. The second one would be your SEO and content, right? So, really. Then taking your website and actually getting found on Google organically, where you're going to really, the ROI that you're getting off SEO compared to something like paid ads can really scale. But that can be a bit of a slow burn as well. But it's about, being found organically on Google, and then obviously your content coming into that as well, being just getting your voice and your expertise out there, people looking for more of those informational topics, and demonstrating to Google that you have that knowledge. So that's number 2. And number 3, the paid advertising, obviously, that's a lot of your specialty as well, Pat. You're all across the paid ads, but obviously, being able to have a clear cost per click and really drive the traffic through that. And especially for new business owners where they're not necessarily going to have the authority to start ranking their website straight away and being in those top results, having that option to have paid ads and be seen in the sponsored listings can be really beneficial.
Yeah, for sure.
And then your social media, obviously, talk about reaching a wide range of customers, and your branding and engagement and connecting with your audience, and building it that way, really important. And then your email, so like email list, it kind of ties into your content and your socials as well, so the lines can be a little bit blurred there, but so like your email list, so you can directly get in touch with your customers, update them, and often that can be a really great source of converting clients or past clients into new jobs again as well. So
cool. Well, those are the 6 digital marketing strategies.
I think that was 6, wasn't it? I kind of blurred the lines a bit there.
SEO, content, paid ads, social, and email. So so we'll dive into a little bit more of each of those right now, and we'll start with the website. So I guess, why is a business website still considered the foundation of all digital marketing efforts in 2025?
So it's, like I said before, it's the center of you and your digital presence online. It's that main hub, and to a certain extent, it's kind of the one channel that you can fully control. It's completely yours. You can do what you like with it. Whether or not that works in your favor is not always the case, but you do have that full creative license to pretty much do whatever you want with it. So, that's your foundation. And a good website can oftentimes be all you need. If you've got a great website that's engaging, immediately conveys a sense of professionalism and trust, and you've got, a great conversion pathways for people to be able to easily, become customers. Like I say, oftentimes that's all you need, and you can just go from there. Like, there's a lot of business owners that will just have a website. So. Yeah,
and for some, the word of mouth and referrals and the website is just enough to keep them going. For those looking to grow, we do have the other channels that will help drive the traffic to the website, and that's when you really start to grow your business, when you use those channels. But just before we do jump over to driving traffic to the website through the marketing channels, the website itself, it's a great place to show your best work, show your past client transformations, show all the social proof, give information on your products, all in one place. Because you think about it, whenever you find out about a business or a certain service, you go to the website as the first point of call, right? So it's always the first point of call. So that's why we have it at the top of the pyramid. Right.
That's it. And again, it's kind of, you can kind of look at it like I said before, it's kind of your main digital hub. You can control it, and you can kind of look at it, obviously industry dependent, but you can kind of look at it as if you imagine everyone that visits your website as if you are walking into a brick and mortar store. How do you want them to feel? What do you want them to find? Do you want that checkout process or quoting process, or again, industry dependent, what do you want that to look like? You want that to be good, you want them to so you really got to think about that with your website, and there's a few different factors in there that can contribute to that. But
we'll talk about those now. So I guess what are the key elements of a high performing website that actually convert visitors into leads or customers?
So obviously it's kind of one of those questions. It's like, how long's a piece of string? There's a whole range of factors. It's industry dependent. It depends what your competition's doing, but at its core, and even then, what as we understand it, and sort of what we get from Google, we don't always know all the answers either. It's kind of proprietary from Google, right? So we can't know everything, but from what we do know, there's a few core things that you can really look at. So obviously responsiveness, how fast is your website loading? Is someone trying to get on there and they're waiting and getting frustrated and just jumping off, or trying to look at photos, things aren't loading, or generally a fast website, and that is a known ranking factor. Leads to a good user experience. So it's engaging, responsive, that's going to be a good one. And kind of off that point as well is your mobile responsiveness. A lot more and more, and I would say a majority of internet traffic these days is mobile. Google themselves are positioning themselves as mobile first. That's sort of how they want web design to be. And generally, if you prioritize mobile web design and look at your website as a mobile first experience, the desktop experience will naturally follow to an extent. At least, definitely in terms of your site speed and things like that. If your site is responsive on mobile, there's a good chance it's also going to be pretty good on desktop. So and just look at your mobile experience, and it's super easy. Just jump on your phone and just see, maybe ask a friend or a family member, say, hey, can you just do this for me? Don't give them too much, and just see what they say, because you might be surprised. And it's easy to sort of forget those things as well, especially if you've had a store for a while, say in the case of e-commerce, just try and buy something. Hand it to a family member or a friend, and just see what their experience is, because you might find things that are actually not working as well as you thought, that could actually be harming that.
Well, how about that? Just the other day, you don't need to name the business, but it was, you were a customer yourself. Just looking on a website trying to purchase something, and then you found some problems with their websites that actually prevented you from purchasing. So maybe you could just explain that a little bit. It's a great story.
That's sort of what I was thinking when I was saying that is, I was a customer. I obviously not going to name the business. But just tried to buy a product. I've been a regular customer with them before. Tried to purchase a product. I already had the trust with the brand. I was a regular customer coming back to them. But even with that, I actually wasn't able to purchase this product because the checkout process was broken. It wasn't working. So I actually physically could not give them my money for trying. And I had to go to a competitor. So there's things like that. Whereas, if you're regularly checking this sort of stuff, and usually things don't tend to just break out of the blue.
Yeah.
But it does happen, and it's something you need to stay on top of, or either yourself or have like an agency or your team looking at that for you. But yeah, it's worth checking in every now and again, because you might be surprised, and it's not necessarily always completely website breaking, people can't pay you sort of stuff, but it might just be things that are really irritating, or at least make it difficult for someone that maybe isn't fully committed. They might just go, nah, it's too hard. Too hard.
Like
so
you came across some other things on that website as well.
That's it. And when we started looking, it's definitely something to be aware of. So yeah, that's a big one, obviously.
What about like social proof? How important is that?
Yeah, so it's just demonstrating your so like reviews are a big one. If you've got awesome reviews, make sure people know it. Show them how good you are. That's one of the best things you can do. If you are genuinely a great business that looks after your customers, make sure that potential customers know that, and you're displaying that proof on your website.
Yeah, for sure.
You can do reviews, you can do case studies, even just photos.
Before and after photos, if you're like a remodeling company, bathroom remodeling company, or even like a hair loss company, right? And you're helping men with hair loss. You're showing those before and afters, that social proof, that actual proof that in the results that it works, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's so important. It's so important, especially just for people that aren't so sure on your brand. Maybe they've never heard you before. Like that's how people come to trust you and eventually become customers. Well, it's one of the factors anyway. So yeah, social proof is really important. Clear messaging and calls to action.
Calls to action, yeah, for sure.
That's a big one.
Yeah. Like if people get to your website and they don't know what the next steps are.
Yeah, don't confuse people.
How many times have you seen a website and they don't even have a phone number, or they don't even have like a call to action to get a quote or request?
Yeah, someone shouldn't have to look for your phone number to try and call you. They should. Everything should be as frictionless as possible, because, and I'm sure many business owners would know, getting a sale in the first place can be quite difficult. Don't make it any harder than it needs to be. Just make it as easy and as frictionless as possible. Give your customers a reason to trust you. Make the experience great for them, and yeah, you'll do very well.
Love it.
So. Yeah,
sweet. So we actually have 7 profit triggers, a playbook on the 7 profit triggers of a website. So what we'll do, we'll link that playbook into the show notes just below, and you can have a look at there, and you can dive into those 7 profit triggers, and you can immediately start implementing them into your own website. Cool. So yeah, look, just still on the website stuff. Like, okay, we did talk a little bit about UX and the speed. So how does website performance like load speed, UX, or responsiveness affect the success of all the other marketing channels?
Yeah, sure. So it, again, because okay, so you think you're talking about, like, if you talk about paid ads, right?
Yeah.
Google ads, you're pointing people to your website.
Yeah.
Even like for your social media ads, you're going to be pointing people. So everything comes back to your website. Again, it's your hub. If that experience sucks, you could have the best, and I'm sure you could probably speak to this, right? Like, you could have the best ads campaign in the world. If your website's not set up to convert, it's only going to work maybe half as well as it could.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I don't know if you want to speak to that or have any experience with that, but
yeah, I mean, just even one thing that comes to mind straight away is the landing page experience, and it's one of the 3 factors that goes into Google's quality score. I won't dive in it. We would talk about this in another video, but basically, if your quality score is low, you're paying more for ads than you really need to, in short.
Yeah.
So, and that landing page experience is one of those key pillars there.
Yeah.
So, having a fast landing page, making sure the information's correctly matching the intent of what people are looking for when they're searching on Google. So that's all, super important stuff.
Yeah, and it affects your conversion rate so much as well. Like I said, and even little things like this. This is a good one. Actually, you might have all your forms set up. You've got a great landing page, great ads, and wondering why are these not converting like they should. Sometimes your forms can be too easy, or they can be too hard.
Yeah.
Actually look at what questions, what requirements are you asking of people in these forms? You know, if you're making this too difficult, asking too much information of people that they might not necessarily know, again, making it too difficult, you're throwing away conversions. And on the other end of the extreme, if your forms are so generic where it's just name, email, and an open text box, you tend to get a lot of spam, a lot of tire kickers, people just, wasting your time. And so it goes the other way as well, where it's just too easy. So yeah, really, really dial in those forms and yeah, again, everything to do with that site experience, like your page speed and stuff. If you click on an ad, they shouldn't be waiting 5 to 10 seconds for the website to load, because especially with, when we're looking at like meta ads, where it's more of an awareness, they weren't aware of it, like it is an awareness thing. And it may be a bit impulsive as well for some things, especially like in the e-commerce space. Yeah. If you do anything to break that compulsion, as bad as maybe it sounds, and give them that moment to really reconsider if they're staring at a blank white web page for 10 seconds, reconsidering, do I really need this fidget spinner? Then you might lose a sale. So it's worth considering.
Super important. Cool. Yeah. Great. Well, we've really done a great deep dive into the foundation, which is the website. So next, I guess, once the website foundation is in place, the next challenge is actually, and we talked about it, bringing traffic to the website. And the first we're going to talk about is organic traffic, so SEO. Now, in particular, we're just going to talk about visibility and trust to start things off. So, like, how does SEO help a business attract the right kind of traffic? Not just more visitors, but qualified leads.
Yeah, so, I mean, the SEO it's all about building the visibility when people are actually looking. You want to be there. You want to be there. If someone's looking for that thing, you've got to be there. And if you're not on the first page, you might as well not be there at all. Sure. Well, to an extent, the first page is really where you want to be. At least top 3 to obviously first is going to be there. But yeah, that's okay as well. Like, of course, you want to be there, and there'll be a lot of SEOs and agencies that will promise, first page, first position, things like this for all these keywords. But you mentioned qualified leads, and that's really important. And I think a lot of business owners will probably resonate with this, in that, similar to what I was saying with the quoting form before, with the tire kickers. Sometimes you've got the leads, but they're all rubbish. Yeah. You want people that are actually keen and interested in your product or your service or whatever it is that you're doing. So you have to think about the intent of the traffic that you're trying to acquire and what they are looking for. You can get first position for 100 keywords and try and feel good about yourself. But if no one's searching that, or if no one that is searching for that is actually really relevant or seriously inquiring about what you're offering, then you might as well not bother, really, because you've got to be looking at, okay, what is the purchase intent of that? So and that's what really good SEO is attracting that qualified traffic and actually having a solid strategy around, these are the keywords that are going to actually drive that return on investment for you.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
that's awesome. So what are some common SEO mistakes you see businesses make that hold them back from ranking?
There's so many. You could
just your top 1 or 3.
Yeah, so I mean, neglecting your local SEO.
Okay.
So going after those big terms, it's again industry dependent, but a lot of especially for more of your service-based businesses, local businesses, trade, they try to go for the big terms, but you've got to remember, depends how deep you want to go. You've got to remember that people are usually, especially for local stuff, only looking for something within their local area. Yeah, sure. So you've really got to drill down and say you're selling, I don't know, could be anything. Plumbing is the classic example, right? Say you're a plumber, you're offering it, so you're offering that service. If you are trying to go after plumber Sydney, but you only really, you yourself are really only willing to service sort of within a 25 to maybe 50-kilometer radius, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Chances are your customers aren't really going to be looking for plumbers that are halfway across the city to you.
Yeah.
And again, not only that, you're then going to be going up against other plumbers that are far closer to them that are more likely to be favored by Google, because why wouldn't they? Yeah. They're more relevant, they're closer, they're probably better able to serve them. So you've really got to think about that, and drill down to the suburb level, and if you are a local business, think more local. Think more local, like where are you able to best serve your customers, and there's gonna be less competition there as well. If you start drilling down into pick where you are, find some suburbs, get a list of suburbs that are sort of immediately around you. Focus on being number one for them first, especially if you're just starting out. Get there for those first. You're going to have less competition. Don't neglect that. Don't try and think, well, I'm in Sydney, so that's where I'm going to, stay local. Don't neglect your local SEO, because that's more often than not where most people are going to be looking for you anyway.
Hyper local.
Yeah. That's it. So
neglecting local SEO is one big mistake. What would you say another one is?
Thin content. Just making a page for the sake of having a page.
Okay.
And putting less than 200 words of content on there is not really... It generally is not helpful to people or Google. Mm-hmm. Google can't work out half the time what the purpose of the page is, what you're trying to do. People that are genuinely interested in the service or product that you're offering don't have enough information, and we see this a lot with poor SEO, where a business owner may have been working with another agency or an SEO beforehand, and they've just created hundreds of pages, but they've barely got any content on them. The content's not particularly different. It's cannibalizing. It's just, again, similar principle to the local stuff. Focus, and really all of it, start small, focus on what works, give them what they need, and do that really well. And then when you have a genuine reason to create more content that's gonna and if you really ask yourself, how does this really help my customers or the users, then go and do that. Don't just make it for the sake of making it and putting
Serve
some
the
thin.
customer.
Yeah. So
user experience is most important, really.
Yeah, that's
Google
it.
Loves that.
That's it, and that ties back into the website stuff we were talking about earlier as well.
Yeah.
So I'd say thin content, and probably if I give you one more, just poor site structure.
Yeah.
Again, you'll notice this is all tying back in, but just make your website easy to navigate. People should be able to find what they need to quickly and easily. It shouldn't be a treasure hunt just to find a simple service. And it's the same for Google as well. If people can't even work out where things are on your website, or where to go, or what to do next, Google's got no chance. They're far less forgiving. You just won't perform very well at all. So, keep it simple, make it easy to navigate, think about your users, and understand that they probably don't have the same knowledge around your industry and your products as you do.
Yep.
So try and put yourself in their shoes, or again, find a friend or a family member to get them to do that for you as well, because if they're not across it, you can kind of see them and understand that journey from someone that
they
doesn't have
bias.
that. That's it. So just make sure it's structured properly, just clear headings, we talk about this a lot. David will talk about this a lot. If you've seen other episodes, think of your website or even a web page as like a book. You really want to start with your title, your chapters, drill down, and don't have headings all over the place. So
otherwise it's just reading a book from chapter 1 to 6 to 3 to 4, kind of like a Pulp Fiction film.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. So I would say think about your site structure and make sure that's
sweet, man. That's awesome.
Yep.
All right, and the last thing we'll kind of talk about when it comes to the SEO before moving on to the next channel, and content marketing does play into SEO as well, but with AI and the algorithm updates evolving so quickly, what aspects of SEO are timeless and still worth focusing on today? I'm not sure if maybe a couple of those things you already suggested or there could be some others.
Again, it all kind of comes back to the same sort of principles. I would say, I think I mentioned this before, is just understanding the search intent. I think we mentioned it when we were talking about keywords, but just give your users what they want. Google wants to end search, and it means end search in the sense that someone shouldn't have to extensively search and, rummage around to find what they're looking for. You should be clear, easy to find, and easy to have someone go through your conversion pathways and become a customer. It shouldn't be difficult. Make it as easy as possible. So, if you mentioned AI, with, AI overviews and AI search mode coming in now, it's easier than ever for someone to just find a quick answer to something they need. People don't want to sift through a 2,000 word blog for a simple answer to their question, and Google doesn't want them to either. So less and less people are even clicking on websites to find that information, let alone reading through a blog. Make it clear, simple, easy. Just keep it simple. Make it easy for people to find what they need. Would be one. And if you are going to make content, and you should, because all these AI all the AI stuff, it has to pull its information from somewhere. And if you can offer genuinely helpful content from your experience, then you should. But make sure that it is genuinely helpful and you're actually, answering questions and serving people and giving them what they need. Because if you're just waffling on to try and hit a word count or stuff keywords in there,
just to game the algorithm, it's not going to work.
It's no good. It doesn't work anymore. Not anymore. That won't work for you. No. So, yeah. That's how you're really going to build that authority and build a strong brand that Google is going to look at as an authority and that people will also love. So,
fantastic, man.
Yep.
So SEO helps people find you, but what about keeping them engaged? You need something valuable to show them, right?
Yep.
So that's where content marketing comes in.
Yep.
So let's dive a little bit into the content marketing. So building authority and value. So how does content marketing strengthen a brand's credibility and build trust with its audience?
Yep. So content is all about turning your expertise into trust.
Okay.
So you as a business owner, as a plumber, like we said, or maybe you sell a certain type of product that's in this niche that you just love and you have so much this wealth of knowledge about. Use that, turn it into content that is going to help people, be genuinely helpful, like we said, and use it to build trust with your future customers or prospective buyers. So that is how you're going to build authority and create value with your content.
Yeah, and so just in regards to the content, when it comes to people first think about, when it first comes to their mind, when it comes to content, people may be thinking, hey, videos or blogs or there is a...
Yeah, content is a very broad term, and do what makes the most sense for you and your brand. If you and also do the best content is the content that you can make.
Yeah. And
consistently do.
Okay.
If you are not a writer, if writing's not your strong suit, you don't like it, you can't seem to just get the ideas out of your head onto the page or the screen or whatever, don't do that. I'm not saying don't write content, but if video is something that you find more natural, you love the hands-on stuff and showing, just do that. Do that. Have it, or even just sit down with a microphone and a camera or your phone or whatever you've got and just make good content. And even now, you can, if speaking is more naturally to you, just sit down in front of the camera, speak and transcribe it. There's plenty of free apps now that will do that very well for you. And work with that. So just the best content is the content that you can do and will do.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Sweet. Yeah, that's great. All right. So what kind of content tends to perform best for small to medium-sized businesses today?
Yeah. Again, just build the trust and authority. So your how-to guides, show people how to do things, how things work, your process, that, help them understand how you do things, how you've done things, how awesome you are. That content is going to perform really well. Your customer stories, whether that's, your reviews or your case studies, that again, it's all coming back to building the trust. You might do a product comparison. If you're, more in the e-com space, you might have two different products, very similar. maybe you get a lot of customers asking about, oh, should I get this one or this one? Create some content around comparisons. Do some reviews. You know, people are always looking, especially for products. People are always looking. People want to make sure they have the best product. People want to be reassured that what they've spent their money on was the right thing to do. So create reviews. Let people know. Become a trusted source of information, because don't forget that if you are a business owner with the expertise in your niche or your area, you have all that knowledge up there, and you are able to relay that to your customers. So, you know, make content around that. Help people.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then how can businesses repurpose their content across the different channels? Like as you said before, like start with where you're at, with what your current capabilities are. So like, are there some ways people can repurpose that content? Say they started with an SEO blog. Are they able to repurpose that onto different marketing channels as well?
Yeah, definitely. That's really the best way to do content. If you can get to a position where, so ideally you want to start with the biggest hitter first, the biggest one first. If you are more of a video guy, you want to create you create long videos, or say, 10-minute product reviews or whatever it is that you do, start with that. And then out of that video, get 3 short form pieces of content.
Cool.
Or, make it 3 short social posts over different platforms, or, so don't keep creating brand new content for every single platform, because you won't be able to sustain it. I mean, you can, there's nothing inherently wrong with it, other than that it's just not really feasible for most people, unless you're a massive company and you want to do that.
Huge team.
And you've got massive resources. Go for it. But if you're a small to medium business owner, you don't have the time for that. And you probably don't want to dedicate that sort of mental energy to thinking up new things all the time. Just get one good solid piece of content and just spread that out across your platforms. So that's going to be your best way.
Yeah, fantastic. All right, cool. Yeah. Well, of course, we got the organic stuff, and it takes a bit of time, right? So many businesses out there, they want to invest into paid channels, okay?
Yeah. It's quick wins.
It is the quick wins, right? So we're looking at paid advertising, PPC, speed and precision. So look, I'll throw it to you first of all. So what role should paid advertising play in a balanced marketing strategy, do you think?
What role should paid ads play in a balanced marketing strategy? I think they are great for your visibility, and honestly, just testing.
Yeah.
So if you want to get found quickly, paid ads are a great way to go. They're pay to win. Not win, you know what I mean?
It's funny because you can get caught up in the thing of thinking that paid ads is like a slot machine.
The more money you put in, and then you get more out. But that's
people first starting out with paid ads, they think it kind of works like that.
Yeah.
But no, you're right. It is more of a vehicle or a channel to have speed to market, and you can go from, and you mentioned it quite briefly before, you can go from that unaware stage, right, to that most aware stage. So there's this famous copywriter from back in the day called Eugene Schultz, right? And he had 5 stages of awareness. So from unaware, completely unaware that they have a problem, all the way to most aware. They know about your product, they know about your service, and they just need a really good deal to take the bullet and jump on board, right? So say, for example, we're looking about that. Let's think. We're thinking about like diet pills, for example. Or say you've got some gut issues. You don't even know. After dinner, you're feeling like you've got something. It's a bit heavy in the guts. You're feeling sluggish, and you think, that's just normal, right? You're in that completely unaware stage. You've got no idea. You just think, it's just I'm just getting old, right? Yeah. But then what paid ads can allow you to do is actually hit that person where they're in that unaware stage.
Yep.
While you're feeling sluggish after meals. Hey, look, it doesn't have to be this way. It's not because you're getting old. It's actually because there's something wrong with your gut microbiome. And you can take people through that stage a lot faster than you could, say, with organic channels. Yes, you could if you're yes, you do eventually. All your marketing channels can work together for that whole journey.
Yep.
But with paid ads, you can just make it a lot faster. Take them from completely unaware to, hey, 50% off, limited time, limited stock, ends next week. There's only seven available or whatnot, and get them to convert. And that can happen very quickly for some products. So yeah, I mean, but the trap that you can fall into with paid ads is thinking like it's the puzzle itself, where paid ads isn't the puzzle. It's just a piece of the puzzle of these 6 marketing channels. Yeah. Right. And that's a common trap.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket, as we've seen recently with like the Andromeda update. A lot of the e-commerce stores, Facebook just put out this. So there's been this update, a new AI algorithm. With Andromeda, and a lot of e-commerce stores, their accounts just tanked overnight, and they weren't prepared, and they had no other sources to put all their eggs in one basket just in Facebook. So they may not have even been doing Google ads, right? So that is they're 2 separate meetings within that one channel, right? Paid ad, PPC. They weren't even on TikTok or anything. They had no organic. Some had no organic social strategy as well. So it's important to paid ads is great from getting you there off the ground, but look, you really got to consider that these other components are super essential as well. Particularly your organic social with your paid ads. And I could go off on tangents here.
Yeah, you love this stuff.
And
this is why Pat's the ad specialist.
So I mean, I'll let you go. What were your thoughts on that?
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like, that's the quick visibility. Like I said, it's one of the real strong suits of paid ads, where you can get that visibility and, like you said, catch people in that unaware stage of the customer journey, where there might be the best solution out there for them, and you might be the one to have that solution, but you just need to let them know about it. And that's, and you said like organic for that in that specific scenario might not be the best channel, because organic's great if people know what they're looking for.
Yeah, well, they're not even searching in some of those stages.
That's it. So whereas paid ads, you can get them where they don't even know what they're looking for, and provide that solution. So, and also not only just the unaware stage, but also if people do know what they're looking for, like obviously you can have Google ads and the sponsored.
For sure.
There's the sponsored results as well. So there's a few options there, but the visibility is the real strong suit of the paid ads. But again, you do pay for it, and depending on what industry you're in, that can range from not very much at all to quite a lot of money per click. That's going straight to Google or whoever.
And we do talk about like cost per click and what various factors affected across Google and Meta in different episodes. But like the thing is, like, different industries are going to have different costs. It's a little bit different with how Meta works compared to, say, Google. But like in Google, the more competitive the market, naturally, the higher the cost per click is, and then your acquisition cost is a lot higher too, right? So,
I think as well, like what you're saying about putting your eggs in one basket, that's kind of part of what this is about is, and I think you've probably seen it as a lot too, is where a lot of business owners will fall into a trap actually of finding something that works really well for them. And they just want to put all the money into that because that works. That's the safe bet. But especially with ads, there is the ceiling, and you do want to have something else to fall back on. You do want to have other channels where you can reach people, because whether it's, whether you're doing organic stuff or your socials or your paid ads or email marketing, every channel has their limitation. So you want to spread yourself enough where you are smoothing out most of those dips, but you don't want to spread yourself so thin, at least initially, where you don't have that huge budget to just throw at an absolutely comprehensive digital marketing strategy, which is awesome. But if you're trying to do that, where you really you're not investing at least the optimal amount in each of those channels, you're not really going to get the benefit from any of them. So you really want to find that sweet spot. But anyway,
no,
that's a whole different.
It could be. You can easily fall in the trap going, I want to get to X amount. I want to get to 20 mil overnight. I'm just going to throw in a mil worth of ads, overnight, and then I'm going to be there, right? It's just it's got to be. And
ads doesn't work like that. No. You can't just flick. I mean, it is very, yes, you pay. This is the cost per click, and there's your ad. But that was a gross simplification. But There's a lot of testing involved. You've got to find what works, what doesn't. And SEO or, socials are exactly the same. You can't just start doing it and that's the thing that's going to work for you. It's not that simple, So, and that's
we'd all be off in the Bahamas and
exactly. That would be great.
Yeah.
I wish that was the way it was, but unfortunately it's not. So, and that's the testing side of it as well, where you need to be able to test. And that's the benefit of ads for your other channels is with ads, you can test what converts, what works, what are people clicking on. And then you can take some of that to your organic or your SEO stuff.
Google, right?
Massively. You can take that and say, okay, this is really resonating with my customers, and put a bit of that into your organic and see how that performs as well. So you can test things quite rapidly with ads, which is a benefit.
Absolutely, yeah. And look, the thing with ads is ensuring that your ad spend is actually delivering an ROI. So just like for that. You don't want to be just getting clicks and impressions, these vanity metrics, driving traffic to your website. So you want to be getting those conversions. And to really understand that, when it comes to your paid ads, you've got to have conversion tracking.
Yep.
You've got to be tracking your conversions. You got to, like, say you're a service-based business, right? You got to be tracking your form submissions on the website. You got to be tracking your phone calls, because otherwise you don't know what's working. You don't know. All right, you haven't got your conversion tracking set up on in your Google Ads account.
Yeah.
You're just going to say, I've spent $1,000. Yeah. I spent 20 grand.
I think it's working.
Where's the you're just guessing. You haven't taken a stab in the dark, and you're leading based on feel rather than actual hard data. And it is similar to with on Meta as well, tracking those form submissions on the website, sales coming through the account. I mean, it can get hairy with the different attribution windows that the different platforms use, and we won't go into that right now, but just making sure you have those basics in place. And then as you get a little bit more advanced, you can start looking, particularly if you're an e-commerce store, you can start looking at more advanced attribution software to have a better understanding of your marketing, where your marketing dollars are going across those channels, because each channel, GA4, Google Ads, Meta Ads, they're going to attribute the sale differently. They have different attribution windows. Some are 30, Meta like 7 days, right? And then Google Analytics is saying its own thing. So when you get a little bit more advanced, you can have that kind of software to really understand your what's driving those sales.
And where's your conversions at? Like, are these clicks or are these conversions? Like, you'll pay for a click, but if it's not converting, you're just paying for clicks. You want to really optimize it the whole way down. So
for sure. So look, there's different platforms as well. That businesses can use. So like for local service businesses, one channel may work better than others, whereas another channel would be better for e-commerce. And look, it really depends. I couldn't just say
there's no
Google
blanket strategy.
is better for local service businesses. Meta is better for e-commerce businesses. In general, but it really, really depends. It really depends on your goals of of your business, what your budget is, where you're at right now. Like, do you even have a website? Like, okay, you don't have a website. You don't have much of a budget. Man, we've got to get you off the ground somehow. You can't afford the website. Well, maybe it might not be a right fit, but hey, you got a few K. Hey, let's just run a Meta Ads campaign for you. Start generating some leads. You got some great photos of before and after of the renovations that you did on that house already, or that deck that you built, those decks you built for your customers. So you've already got some good photos. Let's run a Meta Ads campaign. You know your product. You're really good at your sales process, so you know you're going to be able to convert them like that. So let's do that for you. But hey, look, you've already got a really good website. It's done. We may only need to make a couple of changes, put those photos on the websites to show that social proof. Then Google's probably going to be a better match, because people are going to Google and searching for those services, and you've already got your ducks in a row there. So look, it really depends. It really depends on the product, but like on where you're at and your budget and all that. But look, if you're an e-commerce store, for example, and you're selling fidget spinners, no one's going to Google looking. Well, maybe they are these days, but think before they came out, right? No one knew what they were. It was all about that impulse buy, and so for a lot of products, it is taking customers through that journey.
Yep.
From that completely unaware stage that they don't have a problem through to that desire of where they just need a great deal to pull the trigger. They've already seen the social proof in your ads through that whole journey. So that Meta is probably a better starting point for those kind of businesses, e-commerce in particular.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's never a
it's not a one size fits all.
No one size fits all. Google can work well for e-commerce businesses really well as well. So,
and that's why you got to test. You just got to test
see what works. It's having an understanding of you, like one, where you're at with your business, but also your customers and what that journey looks like. And we could really dive into like customer journey mapping and understanding where they go through those stages of awareness from where they're completely unaware to purchasing. But that's what I said. Have a really good understanding of who your person is, who your target market is, and where are they at, and what's the best way to reach them right now with your current position. Yeah,
and be prepared to spend some money that maybe didn't quite work out for you as well in that process. I think is probably one that stings a little bit for a lot of business owners where, you might, even if you just by yourself, you might run some ads and hope that, that's some ads, that's, the cost per click, that should work out. And maybe it doesn't, maybe you didn't quite hit the nail on the head. So yeah, it's a process of testing and understanding. And it takes time, but.
And man, I've been there myself back in the day. Like when I first got into digital marketing, it was because I had an e-commerce store, right? And I put all my eggs in the Google Ads basket, but I neglected SEO completely.
Yep.
And all those guys that started with me that were doing SEO as well, that's what drove their business up. And so that was a big lesson for me. Was going, all right, You can't have all your eggs in one basket. You got to be making sure like you diversify, not all just in paid ads, because it may be working one day and then next minute, like the competition in your market, you got a new competitor that comes in, you got 5 new competitors that come into the market, and then all of a sudden like ads costs are through the roof. It's just not sustainable anymore.
Paid ads is a big one. We could probably do a whole episode just on that. And we probably will.
Yeah.
We probably will.
So great for getting your attention quickly. But social media is where brands can stay top of mind and actually build those relationships with their customers so they can nurture that with the social media and build those authentic relationships, and people can get to know your brand, right? So we're diving into the social media marketing. So how should businesses choose the right social platforms to focus on, given how many there are today? What do we got? We got TikTok, we got Snapchat, you got Pinterest, you got X, the Instagram, Facebook, the list really goes on. So how do we really figure out what the right one is? How do businesses
it's looking at what's actually gonna work for you, depending on what your goals are. If your goals are if you're using social media to create more customers, you're probably going to keep it a lot more narrow. If you are using social media really just to engage with customers and just build trust and things like that, maybe that's a little bit of a different story. But like generally we would recommend getting a presence on most social media platforms that you can.
So we're looking at because with SEO it's important, right?
Yeah.
To show your presence across the board.
Yeah. So, it's really just like a touch point around the web where Google and I suppose your customers can verify that you are legitimate. So you don't always have to post regularly on every single platform, but just make an account, maybe throw up a few things every now and again, or at least just initially, and just claim, especially if you're starting a new business, just claim that brand name or that handle or whatever, just to have it. It's never a bad idea. But in terms of platforms that you're actively engaging on, if you've chosen social media as the channel that you really want to, or you think is most appropriate for your business to really grow and or drive sales, I'd say, again, industry dependent, probably stick to the big ones. So like your meta stuff, so Facebook, Instagram. I would say TikTok, and I would say probably YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they're probably the big ones you really want to get onto, and understand the different how people engage with content on those platforms. Yeah. You know, TikTok is very it's a little bit more Wild West.
It's a good place to test.
It is. It's a great place to test, and it's probably the easiest place to go viral.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a bit of everything, and people don't expect. I don't think in general people expect a lot of super polished corporate stuff on TikTok. It's more of that fun, almost behind the scenes sort of engagement. So if that works for you and your brand, that's good. Of course, there's TikTok Shop. You can get into all of that, which I won't.
Well,
but
we don't quite have it here in Australia yet, do we? I don't think.
No,
But in the US, it's massive.
Yeah,
and
but,
hopefully we do have it here, because that would be massive for
yeah.
for the Australian market, and particularly some of our clients.
But yeah, understanding that and what works, you know, Facebook, you know.
Well, it depends on your audience. Like
Yeah.
if boomers are your target market, that's where they hang out.
Yeah.
So that's so important. Like understanding where your target market hangs out.
Yeah.
Like with 16-year-olds, if they're your target market, maybe Snapchat's the one that you need to go all in on, right?
Yeah.
Like if you're like a fashion brand that appeals to like 14-year-old kids, whatever, then maybe Snapchat's the right one, or TikTok, you know. So
Instagram.
It depends on where your customer is at. It's not saying that you neglect the other channels, but maybe you really think about where your target market is at and where they hang out the most. Where's it? Because the eyeballs, it's the attention currency, right?
Yeah.
So we want to be able to get as much of that currency and that attention as possible. So where is the attention? Where is my target market?
Yeah.
That's what I reckon.
And where are you best able to most naturally engage with your customer base or potential customer base as well? You know, if short form video doesn't really suit your brand or your style of product, don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Don't force yourself to do it. Like, you know, you can probably make it work, but like, there's so many platforms out there. There's so many channels. Like, there's so many different things you can do. So don't do something just because you feel that you need to.
Yeah, because everyone else is
doing
doing it.
Online marketing guru told you if you're not doing this on TikTok,
100%.
then your business is going to fail in the next 5 years. Like, don't do it. If you are able to if your target market is people over the age of 55, 60. Go onto Facebook and engage with them authentically in a way that makes sense for your brand.
Yeah.
It's not about ticking those check boxes. Again, like coming down to social media, don't just tick the platform checkbox. And with the channels, don't just tick the, social media, SEO, do the things that make sense for your business and are actually going to resonate with your audience on social media and make sense for your brand.
1,000%.
Yeah.
Awesome, man. Yeah, love it. We could ramble on all the day about social media as well. But I guess what's the biggest difference between posting content and actually marketing on social media?
Yeah, that's a big one. I think a lot of businesses go wrong with this. You have to remember at the end of the day, people are on social media for the most part, to be entertained.
Yeah.
If you and people are so desensitized to ads online now, especially young people. We've just been so bombarded with ads that you kind of just block them out now for a lot of the time. And if someone finds you, takes the chance on your profile, and every video you post is sort of some like pseudo promotional marketing thing, not only is that probably boring, and it might not be boring. Some businesses nail this where they are actually just marketing geniuses, and it is really they're selling, but it's so entertaining that it works.
Yeah.
But most businesses, that's really hard to do, and most businesses don't do that. It's just boring. No one wants to see that. It's not interesting, and it just comes across like another ad.
Yeah.
Just engage with your users, be genuine with them, show them what's going on behind the scenes, show them how your stuff works. You know, if you've got a workshop or a factory, show some of the guys or the girls just getting their work done and doing the job, and tell a story. Yeah. Speak to some of your customers, engage with your users, like just have fun with it, be genuine. Being genuine is the best possible thing you can do. There's nothing that turns people off more than the corporate sort of fake social media trying to keep up with the just be genuine and kind of read the room a little bit. That's probably the best thing you can do, and that'll be your difference between marketing on social media and actually like building an audience and that engagement. You kind of need to work out what you're trying to do. Like you should do a bit of both, but you should have built enough credibility and sort of trust with your audience, where when you do drop that one, like, hey, we're launching this, but people should be excited and sort of like they're ready for that. They want to see it because they love you as a brand, rather than do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just like the sleazy car salesman straight down there trying to sell you something, rather than actually providing you some helpful information. He's like, oh, this is the car because he wants to sell the car, rather than actually taking care of the person. And so I mean, people are there. They're to people on social media to be entertained, and then like the information as well. They're mainly the main two big reasons why people are there. So you, like you're saying, you show them how you do things. Tell stories. You can entertain them. So there's no one right or wrong way to do it. It's just what really works for you and your audience, right?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there is no right or wrong way, because you have to do it the best way that suits you and your brand. There's guidelines for sure, but the best thing you can do is just be as authentic as possible. Genuinely try to entertain or engage with your audience, and just have a bit of fun with it. Like you see the accounts that perform the best are the ones that do that, the ones that are genuinely, and even like we've seen a lot of like really big corporate accounts kind of clock that and actually see a lot of success with it. But then there's also some that have then tried to mirror that, but you can tell it's kind of a little bit forced
it doesn't
as well.
Quite fit them.
Or it doesn't. Yeah, exactly right. So you really, and again, it comes back to just testing, trying it, find a platform, try all the different platforms, find out what works for you, and just test some stuff, and you'll find your feet. Making any sort of content is never going to be something that you just hit the ground running with. You're going to learn things, you're going to make something, and then you'll look back on it in a year's time and like, man, that kind of sucked.
Yeah. But and look how far you've come.
But you will learn at every single point, and your audience will grow with you. So
yeah, for sure.
So there's no one size fits all platform. There's no one best platform. Just pick the one that works for you and your audience.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you balance organic content with paid social strategies for the best results? So with this one here, right? So we've kind of already talked about it. Like your paid organic. So your organic socials really is your behind the scenes.
Yep.
Right, and it's building that trust and authenticity. It can help meet people at different stages of the funnels. Yes, it is a bit of a slow burn, but your ads is what does a lot more of the selling for you. All right.
Yep.
So you can get them in your funnel with the organic stuff, and then with the algorithm, it allows you to retarget those people that have engaged with your content already on social media as well.
Yep.
So there's just a couple of things, but like social media is also a great testing ground for your ads.
Yeah,
you can test some UGC, some behind the scenes kind of content of your say think you're an e-commerce brand, for example, right?
Yep.
You could do some like unboxing or some like packing videos and see how well that turns out on your social page. If you get a ton of views and it's super engaging, it's like, hey, that's a good chance that could be a top performing ad. Meta likes this, so let's chuck it in as a paid ad.
Yep.
And look, there's no right or wrong. There is only testing.
Yeah.
And testing and figuring out what works.
Yep.
And trying something new, looking for different angles, like different messaging. No no one direct answer to this question.
Yeah.
I'd say. What do you reckon?
For sure. Yeah, no, that sounds spot on to me. Yeah, testing. You have to test these things. There's no, you're never just going to nail it straight off the bat. And yeah, just find out what works and then run that as an ad. That's, yeah, like you said, you know, and then that again flows into your organic stuff. So say that worked well on social media for you. You run that as a paid ad. You work out a formula on the paid ads that works really well, or certain, you know, keywords or things you want to target. That then goes into your organic strategy. And then, you know, from there, that works really well with your organic strategy. And then, you know, you might write something up for your email list that then works there. So, and I think that's probably something we're going to talk about in a moment, but yeah, yeah, you just kind of blend it all together. And it's sort of like what I was saying before with when you're creating content, you kind of create that one thing and then distribute it across those other platforms. So
yeah, repurposing it. That's great. Cool. So once you've attracted followers and customers, the real power comes through nurturing those relationships. So we can use social media for nurturing those relationships too. But the other thing that we can use, the other marketing channel, is email marketing, right? So why is email marketing such a powerful channel? Even with so many new tools and platforms available, why is email so powerful?
It is still one of the highest converting highest converting channels for most businesses. And it's one of the few things that is yet untouched by algorithms and, well, probably not even AI anymore, but you know, it's one of the most authentic sort of direct marketing channels you can have. And it works because these people are already engaged with you and your brand. They're sort of, you know, they're familiar with you and you can connect directly with them and, get those sales and go from there.
Yeah, for sure. And you think about it, people think like, oh, emails are so old, right? It's like, it's been around for years, but hey, you think about we still have our phones, right? We have the Gmail app or the email app on your phone. I can guarantee you that this is a little bit unprofessional here, but I can guarantee you that your customers are waking up in the morning, going to the bathroom, and they're looking at their emails. So it is a great place to stay top of mind. And you'll see e-commerce brands sending 5 or 6 emails a week. And that's just keeping 5 or 6 emails may not work for every business. But it's a great place.
Strong opinions.
We do. Hey, but it's made me buy those pants because they're at the top of my inbox every day. But you can tell story. It's similar in social media, but sometimes words on paper, written word, is just such a powerful way to tell your story and connect with your audience in a way that you can't in any other medium. It's direct, it's personal. You own it, kind of almost in its entirely. The only channel that you do own. You can say your website, but hey, Google still owns the traffic, right?
Yeah.
But your email, you own that list.
Yeah. And people on that list are usually interested already. It's a great place to convert people. It's a great one for your those relationships over time as well, and actually customer retention, turning that one customer into a repeat customer or a customer for life, or getting them onto their friends and things like that. So it's actually still a really powerful channel to market on.
It's different for every business. Some storytelling type emails and infotainment style emails that entertain the customer, but then also provide a solution at the same time may work for some businesses. Where e-commerce brands, it's just sending the promos, right? Maybe even at the start they sign up and then you put them into a welcome series and they'll begin with a little bit about the company and telling you a story, and so you can get some buy-in from the customers that way. But then you can also, like you said, resell to them, and it's different for every e-commerce business too. Some e-commerce brands, they're a once-off purchase, but you may have a store that's more of the high repeat style, so people keep coming back. They repurchase different products from you. So it depends on you, on the type of store and the type of business as well.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
I guess so. What are some best practices for keeping email subscribers engaged without overwhelming them?
And that's what I said before, and that's where we sort of we had a good conversation about this the other day, where you love getting all those deals. I'm more like, man, if you send me more than one email a week, I'm out. But that's like different types of customer, right? Like so everyone's going to be different, and even within your market, you're going to have customers that have different preferences. So you kind of have to find that middle ground that works for you. But I would say, like you said, your best practices, you mentioned like a welcome series. So stagger your emails by like the customer behavior or the stage of the buying journey that they're at. If they're a first-time customer, kind of ease them into it. And keep them engaged, but don't overwhelm them either. Because like I say, like at least for me personally, that's something I really dislike with email lists. When if I sign up for something and then I'm getting 3 emails a week, it's going to just annoy me.
You're going to unsubscribe.
Yeah. But if you can give me one genuinely interesting email a week, or sort of a roundup, or what you've been up to, or a great deal in my inbox once a week, then maybe I'm interested. But so meet your customers where they're at, and work out that process sort of with where they're at in the journey. So that's a big one. You can automate a lot of this stuff now as well. There's a lot of platforms out there that will do that for you, but try and keep it authentic though. Especially like if you are a small to medium business owner, if you can write that yourself, or
for sure,
someone that can write it for you, if that's your strong suit, then that's always gonna perform the best. And like I said before, just actually deliver value. It's the same across all the other channels. Don't spam people. Like, unless you have something genuinely interesting to say or a great sale, don't just do it for the sake of doing it. Like anything, just if it's the right thing for your customer and it's genuinely helpful to them, if you think they're really going to like it, or it tells a story, or keep them engaged, build a bit of like equity with your brand, then do it. But I think that would be my tips.
Like I think about some of the lists that I'm on from some of the top marketers out there. I get one every day, and I don't read them all, but every time I do, it's always valuable. It's always entertaining. They always have something like that's valuable to me to say. So I don't mind getting those emails, and like, you don't need to go out of the gate and do 7 emails a week. You don't need to do one every day. You want to be able to test that out and maybe start with one, for example, once a week, and then warm your audience up. And then you can look at the data and see, I'm getting way too many unsubscribes now.
Yeah, that's it.
Maybe I can dial it back one. I can just, I'm doing 3 a week, maybe just 2 a week, and you can find that healthy medium, right? So
again, testing.
Yeah.
That's the big takeaway.
And like with your email, you can segment your list. You can look at all that stuff inside your marketing platforms, whether it's MailChimp or Klaviyo. You can create those segments by looking at the data, and who's opened your emails, right? So like, you're not going to be sending emails like twice a week to people that aren't opening your emails, because that's probably Luke, right? He's the guy that's not opening your emails, but he's seeing in his inbox, is clogging his clogging up his inbox. He's going, bugger off, right?
Yeah.
But you'll get those people that are opening those emails, so they're keen to learn more. They want to see these deals. They
want to stay engaged, and you can reach them directly.
You want to segment those lists, so you're making sure you're hitting those people with those messages at the right times. And we did talk about. I guess we did talk about how automation and segmentation like helps turn simple email lists into real sales assets. So we can go on that a little bit more. Like I just kind of touched on the segmentation side of things, but like with your automation, I guess, particularly with your welcome series, right? For an e-commerce store, that could be something as simple as, having a pop-up with a 5% off, just as an example. And then you've created this whole series of emails that they automatically go through and they automatically get sent. And depending on how they engage with that particular email will determine their next step. So say they make a purchase, then they're out, right? That whole series, and with those platforms, you can do it.
Yeah, and especially for e-commerce, if you are starting an e-commerce store, one of the quickest and simple sort of welcome list. I can't even talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, all good.
So
we've been going a while.
If a customer's made a sale, and this is probably like really obvious to a lot of people, but if you've just made a sale with a customer and they've signed up to your email list, or maybe they're automatically on it just because they put their email in or whatever, follow up with them and send them an offer to use within the next month or 3 months or whatever, depending on the nature of your product, industry, whatever, and give them that, encourage them to re-engage with your business or make another sale, because the hardest sale you will ever get is the first one. So if you've gotten that far where you've gotten that first sale, do your best to keep those recurring sales going and increase the lifetime value of the customer. And and increasing the lifetime value of the customer is beneficial across all of your channels. If you can do that across any of your channels, then you're doing really well. But yeah, that's a really good one to start with, especially for e-commerce.
Yeah, for sure. Fantastic. Yeah, awesome, man. So look, man, we've been through so much. So we've the 6 marketing channels. You've got the website, SEO, content, social, paid ads, and we've just finished with email. So look, so for businesses trying to decide where to start, like how do you recommend prioritizing?
Yep. I would say start with your foundation. Start with a good website if you have the budget.
Yeah.
And depending on that, so start with your website, or maybe you don't have the budget. Start on your socials and your paid ads, or start with a website and paid ads, or start with a website and SEO, but get that core foundation first. If you have the budget for a website, or you can find a way to make a budget for the website, do that first. Set that foundation, create your social profiles, create your Google business profile, set that foundation for all of your other stuff. So your website and or SEO or socials. Mm-hmm. That would be where I'd recommend you start. Most businesses, not most businesses, a lot of businesses will never even nail that. They will try and go in all these different directions, and they will never even nail the basics of just a good website and good paid ads sort of situation, or good socials, or you know what I mean? Like, get that right first. Get your foundation right. That's where I would start. From there, I would look at content. So build trust, start to demonstrate your expertise, and go into content, like we said, whether that's written content, video, whatever that may be. And then, depending on if you started with paid ads, if you didn't, I'd probably bring paid ads in fairly early as well, either with or right after that content, to really accelerate things, because then also once you've started creating that content, you can use that for your ads. So that's where I would go next. If you hadn't already, I would start to seriously look at socials now. And I don't mean not having done any socials at all. I mean, seriously start like regularly posting on socials, actually engaging with your audience, actually making good quality posts, and like actually having a presence and building a brand. In it. Exactly. Not just, every now and again, we make a post or throw up a photo, or like actually seriously like look at your social media marketing and start that up. So that would be more down the line. And look, this is last, you can really do this at any time, but your email marketing, it kind of just works anytime. It's more if you have the time, and often, like especially like with the e-com stuff, it will kind of naturally, especially like if you build a website, your email marketing or your email list might kind of just fall into any one of those parts of building out your business and those channels. But email marketing is tough because it is very personal. You really have to sit down. You got to build a list. You do. You've got to build a list. It takes time. If you haven't set up the other stuff first, you're going to struggle to build a list. You don't have the customer base. So that's the only reason I put it last. And these are not in order of how good they are. It's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
an order of priority for you to look at and sort of just at least get that immediate ROI, and then also put things in place so that these other channels can perform their best. Like we said with the making content, so that now you have content to run your ads and things like that. So that would be my recommendation. Start with your base, your website, SEO, paid ads. Just set up your socials at least, and then from there, really build out those channels. So
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if you would.
I think for
differ
most
anywhere?
businesses, particularly the businesses that we work with, service businesses, e-commerce brands, you got to have a website. Investing in your content strategy, your SEO,
You can start
and your
with
paid
socials.
ads. Look, some businesses that's all they do, and that's all their leads come from socials. So there's no real one right or wrong answer. But it just has to come understanding of where you're at with your business and what's going to be the best bang for your buck at the end of the day. So look, finally, if a business could improve just one thing about its digital marketing this quarter, what would you suggest?
Get your measurement and tracking in place. If you're not tracking what you're doing, if you're just sort of, maybe you haven't got a real strong strategy, maybe you're a little bit willy-nilly, or maybe you do have a good strategy, but you're not really dialed into what this is doing for my business, start measuring everything, and then I think everything else will fall into place. So whether that's your phone calls, whether that's, your engagement on social media, or, what ads are working for you, or your conversion rates, look at all those different things, find out what works for you, and then you can kind of scale more or scale back certain things from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not...
You can always improve and I think most of the time you can always improve the way that you're measuring and tracking things as well. Yeah, that would be my recommendation.
For sure, yeah, that's a good one. You've got to be tracking and understanding what's driving the actual results. Otherwise, you're just throwing stuff at the wall, seeing what sticks without actually knowing if it's stuck at all.
Yeah.
Look, for me, I would say, know who your customer is. This was really mainly just because it's such a big part of paid ads, and it particularly when it is important on Google as well with your landing page and what you're writing on your landing page and your copy, but know who your ideal customer is, know their pain points, know their desires, know what keeps them up at night, know those things, because
create a persona or create an avatar. That's like your marketing 101. Imagine your ideal customer, what their needs, wants, frustrations.
What does their day look like? How does your brand fit into that? Speak to them. There could be say you're a supplement for a marathon runner, right? And they may have 100 different supplements they take leading up to the day or on the day of their marathon run. And you could show that in that space where they've got all these supplements lined out. For you, that maybe you're what the hell is this? So it won't resonate for you, but that specific person, they go, hey, that's me. Yeah. That's me. And that's why it's so important to really have an understanding of all these different parts of your customer. And in particular, the day in the life of what they do. So I would say get to know your customer. Well, that's it for today. Thanks, Luke. Great episode. We dove into the 6 key pillars, the 6 marketing channels Aussie businesses should know of and should be implementing into their business. Not all at once, but when's the right time to use them? What's the pros and cons of using them? And whatnot. But mate, fantastic show, great chat, and looking forward to seeing everybody on the next one.
Thanks, Pat.
Thanks.